For some reason, people like to assume that just because they don't like a person or that they did something wrong to them, then their life is gonna end up in absolute shambles. And 9 times out of 10, that never happens. This type of thinking only leaves you more disappointed and depressed. Just because you don't like them, that does not guarantee in any way that they'll suffer. You can't live your life actively waiting for someone's downfall in order to find your own peace or happiness. When people point to someone and say they think the world revolves around them, it's usually assuming that that person they're talking about is an asshole. But to be honest, it kinda goes for even the nicest people you can think of. Is it not self-centered to think that someone else should suffer the rest of their existence just because they mistreated you? Isn't it narcissistic to think that you are morally superior and that every bad thing done to you should be subject to cruel punishment for the other person? As much as we'd like this to be a fact, your life is not a fairy tale. The movies have done a great job of convincing you that you're the hero who finally triumphs over the big bad villain in the end. But reality, unfortunately, doesn't work under archetypes of good and evil. If that were the case, we wouldn't have so many quote-unquote evil people in positions of power. Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy, the Mustache Man, they've all done terrible things, and unfortunately they've lived with more money and influence than you probably ever will. Your misfortune won't affect a person's charisma, influence, or skill that they have in a particular field. Morality does not guarantee success, and immorality doesn't always lead to suffering. But does that mean that I'm telling you you should go out and do bad things to people just to make it to the top?
No, nigga. No. 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 No!
Even if it's the case that most of the elite do nefarious things, I truly believe that there are exceptions out there and that you can be too. In fact, I think that making it to the top the right way might be a longer and tougher road, but one that leaves you more fulfilled and mentally stronger than the elites who had to lie, cheat, and steal their way to the top. But it all starts with just choosing your path and not even being affected by the evil actions of your competition. When someone mistreats you, betrays you, or has tried in any way to make your life more difficult, you just gotta let God sort them out. Well, not the album, like the literal saying. Well, it's kind of related to the album, but I'm not like telling you to sell coke or anything. I'm just saying to me, this phrase means more than just its religious connotation, or reference to the album, or even a plea of revenge to God, or whatever or whoever else you worship. When I say let God sort them out, it really applies to whether you believe in the concept of God or the universe. It's not begging that the person gets what's coming to them, but rather leaving it to whatever you believe in to deal with the situation accordingly. The other person who did you wrong might be a victim in another person's eyes, so the line might get blurred between who's right and who's wrong. The best thing you can do is move on with your life, not with the hope that anything bad will happen to them, but truly move on. If they do get their comeuppance, great. If they don't, well, your life and your peace does not depend on if they do. The only thing you can do is let go and better yourself instead of clinging on to a hopeless need to see them fall. That should be your form of revenge, not letting another person's treatment towards you rule your life, but rather coming out the situation as a better person than you were before.
Well done, his shoulders. He's gonna score. Where? He missed it. Oh, hey. Uhepi mawunje mpenzi.